Welcome. I don't know how to flip this around while I do the welcome, Cheryl, but welcome to our show here tonight. Welcome to We'll Sing and We'll Shout from the Rooftops. So,
Just show
uh,
Kenny. He's cute.
so yeah, here's cute Kenny. Uh, so tonight we're down here in Spanish Fork. We're working to finish up this roof, just to kind of show you what's going on. The back is pretty much done. We just got a couple more rows right at the very top. They were waiting for some stuff to get out of the way. We'll put those last few vents on. This quadrant up here is about 70% done. I'm going to start knocking out this area here, and then we've got a good start on this other front quadrant. So we're not going to finish this tonight, but we will likely finish this tomorrow. So that's kind of where the roof is at. Cheryl, seems like there were some other things I wanted to mention, but I can't think of what they are. I'm sure they'll come to me at some point. Is that a pretty good view of Kenny? Can you see what's going on there?
I can.
Okay. Well, we're going to let him shingle that area. I'm going to go over here and shingle an area beside, and we're going to let you talk about Jeff, and I'll come in. I'll chime in with a few inspiring thoughts as
I'm
I see
sure we
fit.
have a big crowd waiting since I put that teaser on Facebook.
I'm sure we do. I'm sure. Well, the thing I was going to say was, I get so many emails and messages when I.
Hello? I lost you. Steve, are you there? There you are.
Okay.
I lost you for a sec.
Yeah, for some reason, my phone is not staying alive while we're doing this, which is different. But anyway, let's go ahead and let you get rolling. But
You
I guess the
said
thing
you
I was going
got
to say
so
is,
many emails and messages, and then you went off.
yeah, from people who are, like, gosh, I missed your live last night. I don't know what to think or to feel or how to live.
I know,
And
right?
and so I feel really obligated to make sure I don't miss this. Actually,
I know people.
I never get any messages like that, but I like to
I
think
know
that I
people
would.
really look forward to my Monday night events here.
It is the most popular of our programs for sure. So, without further ado, let's let you go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to talk about Jeff Doster. So this was I was trying to remember when I dated Jeff Doster. I think it was after my senior year. Me and Dobie had split up, and I was kind of dating that Marine, and then I found out that he was married, so I dumped him. So I think that's when. So actually, me liking Jeff and him liking me went back a ways when he worked at Whiteley's grocery store. Do you remember that little grocery store in
Oh yeah,
town there?
yeah. Can
Um,
you hear me now?
yep, he
Okay.
was a bag boy at that grocery store. And it was just like a little 3 aisle grocery store. It was tiny. So I used to go in there and I'd kind of around and see if he was there. And you can see real quick because there wasn't hardly any, it's not like it wasn't like Hoag's. It was like
Right.
such a small grocery store. So I could see real quick if he was there or not. So then I would go in and pretend I was buying something, just like I'd kind of wink at him and flirt with him a little bit. And he always noticed me. We just like had this thing, this vibe. I don't know. He was very cute. Um, so then I would see him at school too. And, he'd always make very nice to me in the halls. And we'd kind of like make a joke when we'd see each other and go by. We were always like friendly that whole year. Even when I was dating Job, I wouldn't say we were flirty, but maybe a little bit. I wasn't married. So I like Jeff. He was a freshman and I was a senior, but he just looked more mature than the other freshmen. He just was maybe a bigger kid. I don't remember. But Tamara Hay was dating Denny, so I figured, what the heck, right? So, so that summer after me and Doe broke up, I somehow got a hold of him, and we met at the baseball field at Greenwood Heights Park one night. and just kind of sat on the bleachers and chatted. I don't know where you went, Steve, but I'll keep talking. Hopefully, I'm actually on there somewhere. Oh, there you are. So we chatted on the bleachers at the baseball field, and he invited me to his house. And I have no idea what his mom thought of a freshman dating a senior, but so I we went down in the basement at his house. They kind of had like a family room kind of thing down there. Watched TV, maybe did a little smooching, and I don't know. It didn't last very long because I was getting ready to go off to college. So, but I really liked him. I just there was just always this fun vibe between us. And I think if we'd have been closer in age, we probably would have dated longer. But um, yeah, I don't really remember what happened. There wasn't a big, huge breakup or anything. It was just kind of, I think it was so awkward with me being so much older than him. I don't think his parents approved. So I got that feeling that they didn't really want me there. And, but I did see Jeff, oh, I wouldn't say recently, but it was a few years ago. Um, saw him at the Applebee's up in Sandusky. He and Martin went in there, and then Jeff went by with his family, and he recognized me, and I said hi to him. And I think he was a Facebook friend for a while. I'm not sure if he is anymore. But anyway, so that's my story about Jeff Doster. So I was going to tell another story since that's kind of a short one. Um, I
Can you
think,
hear me? Can you
yeah,
hear me at all?
I can.
Okay. All right. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so my other story is about a guy from the state fair. His name was Dennis, and I'm trying to remember what year this was too. I'm thinking this was my after my senior year. I must have dated a lot of guys that summer. I'm telling you what, as I'm heading off to college, I wanted to get all my dating in. So this guy, I think I met him at the All Ohio State Fair Youth Choir Alumni Day at the fair. I think we had our cows down there showing them. Because that's when Sherry, there's that funny picture of me and Sherry at the state fair booth where where I'm like blow drying her butt because she sat in something. That's a really funny picture. We're at the booth where the Gray Haven Farm booth that we have set up with with our pictures and our big sign and everything and our chairs.
Right.
Um, so I was going over to see the State Fair Youth Choir every night when they would go into the Coliseum and do their show, and there was this one guy that was like he was one of their leaders or chaperones, maybe. I think he was like an ex-member who was just there helping over the summer. And his name was Dennis. And he started to notice me being there every night. And so he got interested and came over and started talking to me. And I said, I was in the choir the year before. And so dad Dad and we got done showing our cows and packed up everything. And Dad and was getting ready to head off to Bellevue. And I really wanted to stay for a few more days at the fair because I was really interested in this guy Dennis. And he was so funny. I was telling him about my cow Patsy, which Patsy was a huge cow. She was a Guernsey cow, but she was the size of a Holstein. So Jeff Ziegler used to call her the moose because she was so much bigger than the other cattle. But so when we were in the fair, we had my cow Patsy, and then Steve's cow beside her, and then my brother David's little calf beside her. And so people would come in and go, "Oh, look, there's the daddy and the mommy and the baby," referring to Patsy as the daddy. Apparently, couldn't see the teats hanging underneath, but city
Well,
people,
yeah.
city
That,
folk. And so, and the other thing was, we were like one row over from the Budweiser Clydesdales. So basically, nobody was there to see our cows. They were there to see those damn horses. So every time people would come into the barn, they'd be like, "Where's the Clydesdales?" So I'd just stand there like an idiot, just holding my arm out, like a pointer. That they're right over there. You don't want to see my cows here? No, want to see the Clydesdales. But it was kind of fun to be at the fair and see the Clydesdales at night when after the fairgrounds were shut down and the people would like ride them bareback to get them exercise. Do you remember that?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was really fun, like seeing them take care of those horses and wash them and all that. And of course, all that happened at like midnight at the fairgrounds when everybody else is gone. So that I thought that was very entertaining. But so Dennis came over. We were still there at the time, and he came over to see my cow. And I said, my cow knows her name. And he goes, she does not. Cows are stupid. I said, no, my cow knows her name. And so as we got closer to our little setup there, we got right up behind her. And I said, hey, Patsy. And nobody else looked, just Patsy. She turned her big old head around and looked straight at me. And he was just like, he goes, well, she knows your voice, but she doesn't know her name. I'm like, yes, she does. She knows her name. So anyway, so we had that. We were just having that weird discussion about Patsy. I remember that. So Dad let me stay after you guys went home. And I stayed with my friend Linda Blair that lives right there in Columbus. And actually I've been by her house recently and took a picture of it and sent it to her. She's still my friend. Um, we were became friends in third grade and we're still friends. So I think that's pretty cool. Um, so Dad let me stay for a few more days so I could date this Dennis. And I think after the fair got over, the relationship ended, but it was fun for a few days. So Jeff and Dennis, my little like 1 week love affairs that I had in the summer of '82 before I headed off to college.
Right.
And then the Jim Persons, the Marine that told me he was married and told me he wasn't married and he was. So that was another one little like just maybe a few weeks with Jim Persons, I think. But
So
yeah,
that was the summer I was getting into all my shenanigans
yeah. I was
there.
off dating
So
all sorts of fellers. And even
yeah.
Dobie and I would see each other occasionally. I remember before I went off to college, I went over and saw him for a night and left him a nice note in his mailbox. But
Well, you saw him in the evening. You didn't necessarily see him for a night.
I didn't see him overnight. No, Mom Hay would never have put up with that.
well, well, that's the way you. That's kind of the way you said that. So I just wanted to
Well, just in the
clarify.
evenings.
Given that this is a family show and all, I just want to make sure that we,
Yeah.
not create any
Nobody got
confusion.
get any weird ideas. No, I never spent the night with Dobie ever. That just wasn't something that happened. Maybe prom night. I think prom night we went to the beach and we were with another couple, Mike and Sherry, or no, it wasn't Mike and Sherry because Sherry wasn't dating Mike then. Uh, we went with another couple, our senior year, probably maybe one of the Hay boys. I don't remember, but anyway, we went to the beach up in Huron and had a bonfire. So I probably did spend the night with him that night, but nothing weird went on. We ended up in
Right.
the morning in Castelia at this cute park and took some pictures. And we were kind of sad because we kind of realized our romance was coming to an end.
Right.
And so that was tough. That was a tough night for us. But yeah, Mom Hay didn't put up with any shenanigans. There wasn't any of that going on.
Well, there were shenanigans going on among the Hay boys, but maybe not at home. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, there we
So,
go. That was Shirley there.
not with Shirley there.
She was a
Um,
scary broad, that Shirley.
she was, I never had any reason to get crossways with her, which was good. So,
She was intimidating, I'll tell you that. Especially when it came to her boys.
well, she had to be in order to raise those four guys. Well,
That's true.
and of course, there were there were stepsons too, right?
There's a daughter,
Or
Joanne, who's a stepdaughter. I don't know if there's a son. Um,
I thought there were some older brothers.
I don't
Um,
remember. I don't remember an older brother, honestly. I guess there could be. But I do know Joanne. In fact, I just saw her at Mike and Sherry's 40th anniversary party. Joanne was there. And she saw me and Sherry told her who I was because she had no clue who I was. And she goes, but she has blonde hair. I'm like, yeah, I had blonde hair when I was in high school, but I don't have blonde hair anymore. Sorry. But anyway, that was fun to see her. But Dove's dad was just the nicest man. He was always very fun and friendly. But Shirley reminds me a bit of my friend Connie Caldwell. Just very brash, very sassy. Didn't want to cross her, that's for sure. But but a very loving mother. That was very obvious. And then they had the boy Kurt living with them there too. He was a cousin.
Right. Yeah, Kurt was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Kurt was really cute and funny.
He used to really get a kick out of helping me milk the cows.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah, he was cool. He was really cool. I always got along with him. And then he was dating Janice Franco. So she was, she was in ballet with me for years. So we were good friends.
I always had a crush on her while she was with you in ballet. So,
I
that
think
was
a lot of
the.
guys had a crush on her because my senior year, she got the cutest butt award. She
Well,
did. We had awards for cute behind, and Janice Franco was the one who won for our class.
well, I never got to vote for that,
Nah,
but
I know.
but anyway, yeah, she was the only thing that made the recitals worth coming to. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
So
fine.
I was playing basketball last night with some guys at the rec center, and the one guy always plays with his dad, and even his dad is still 10 years younger than me. But I was like, but his dad wasn't there. I was like, oh, where's your dad? He's like, yeah, he was pretty worn out. He had to go to a ballet recital last night. And then I told him about growing up with you and having to go to your recitals, and he thought
Uh-huh.
that he thought that was pretty funny. So,
Yeah, and Tin used to drive to come to my recitals and spend the night.
but yeah,
But
well, she
I can't say this out loud. I'll have to tell you after we hang up.
okay. But so for the crowd here, I did that Facebook Live about my friends Mindy Ketty and Christy Martin, and just today here, Mindy Ketty got back to me, and we got to visit some about that whole thing with the wool suit, and she
Oh,
shared with me
she's the one
that.
who's made that comment. I never quite got what you were talking about with that. Okay. So she's the one that made it so you never wore your suit that you spent $270 on.
Am I back?
There you are. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah,
So
this
she's
thing
the one
isn't.
that made it so you didn't wear your suit that you'd spent so much money on.
Yeah.
Ah,
She's the one who made that comment about polyester is really pathetic, and
right.
because she comes from a fashion background, and that's a totally appropriate comment to make. And my life was probably forever blessed
Yes.
because I got this education in fashion
You didn't have to
in
wear
the halls
polyester ever.
at church, but I never did wear that suit that I essentially spent my then life savings on.
Oh, that must be
So
so sad.
so anyway, it was pretty funny. But she
Yeah,
shared with me that she's now um, she's still in clothes and still telling people what to wear and things. So, but
hysterical.
but
That's really
more than
funny
a
that she got a hold of you.
story about her or me or a suit, it's a story about the fact that a teenage girl can have an amazing impact on a
Yeah,
teenage boy, and
right,
and I'm sure vice versa. But my guess is it goes stronger one way than the other. But that's just from my perspective. So
right.
I
Yeah,
don't know. You did a lot of crazy things when you felt it was needed. So
that's true. I did.
anyway, well, this connection thing up here is
Not great.
not what I would have liked. But so who's next week?
Well, let me find my list. I think it's right here beside me. Where is it? Oh, it's over on my couch. Just a second. We'll see who the exciting prospect is for next week.
And I will do a little tour. So the windmills over here, the Spanish Fork windmills. Can you see those?
Yeah, sort of in the distance there.
Yeah, those things are cranking away pretty good tonight. So that means we
Yes.
got some pretty good wind coming down the canyon there.
Yep.
Not really feeling that up here on the roof. It's pretty still right here, but it's obviously, well, there's a little breeze up here, but it's coming through pretty good in the canyon.
Yeah.
So, but it is a beautiful night out here. We're watering the alfalfa there, so that's looking nice. And yeah, it's a great place to spend an evening. No place I'd rather be, other than perhaps the hot tub. So,
Well, next week I'm heading off to Rick's college, so I guess we'll get into John Doria.
oh, okay.
Maybe Elder Barney though, because Elder Barney was there in Sandusky Ward, and he was a Bellevue elder. And
Right.
I actually once I went to college, he came home from his mission, and I actually dated him just for a little bit.
So
So
let me share. We're only 21 minutes into this. Let me share my little Elder Barney story. Now,
okay,
Elder Barney was a really fun elder and a
he
really cool elder.
was.
He
I have a
was
picture of me and him at a dance together.
he was an 800-meter high school runner. You know, like he
That
had done
doesn't
really
surprise me.
well at the Utah State track meet or something. I don't know that he won it, but he was pretty quick on his wheels there. His
Yeah, he was very
companion
fit.
his companion was Chris Farley's brother essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I kind of remember
yeah,
that, like Mutt and
yeah.
Jeff.
He was essentially Chris Farley's brother. Just
Yeah,
that kind of a roly poly kind of fun guy.
yeah.
So so one time I was hanging out with them and we were up.
Lost you again.
Okay, here I am.
Yep,
How we got up there together, I'm not even sure. Like, were they breaking mission rules and I was riding them around in their vehicle?
most likely.
I don't know. But we are going to go up there and see a movie. And you know, I probably should even be sharing this story, but you know what? Here it is. This is life. And so these
I don't
missionaries,
even remember his first name, so we can't get him in trouble.
right? Um, so we get up there, and this movie that's got Rachel Ward in it, Sharky's Machine. Sharky's Machine, rated R.
The
Pretty
missionaries
spicy,
went to that?
pretty spicy movie.
Yeah.
Um, and and Burt Reynolds gets his fingers cut off.
Oh,
They can't
nice.
catch that thing, and so because he won't tell on Rachel Ward or whatever.
Hmm.
But it was pretty provocative movie for what I was probably 15 years old at the time.
Yeah,
And so, but yeah, the missionaries took me to see Sharky's Machine. So,
that's
you know,
hysterical.
Mormon missionaries do a lot of amazing things and a lot of good things. And usually they're following their mission rules and not
Well,
taking,
even those two were really good missionaries. I didn't realize. I mean, they never were weird. They never misbehaved with me.
right,
So
right. So, and just to defend the Chris Farley's brother there, whatever his name was,
yeah.
he was kind of like, no, I don't think we should do that, Elder. And it was Elder Barney that was like, yeah, it'll be okay, it'll be okay. So it was it was Elder Barney that and here I am sharing this story with Kenny hereby. You don't want to do that when you're a missionary, Ken. But just to be clear about something, I never saw any rated R movies on my mission. So,
Right. Yes. Good point.
but I did. But I did go see Sharky's Machine with the missionaries there at the Sandusky Mall. So, um,
He drove clear up from Utah. I don't know if he was in Logan or Salt Lake or what, but he drove clear up to Rick's College to take me to like a preference dance. So that was
right,
very nice of him.
that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, let's let these good folks go, and then you call me back.
All right. Sounds good.
So, all right. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care.